What is up, guys? Lone Hawk here today, and welcome back to Overwatch. In today's video, we are going to go over some heroes that I think are secretly OP. And by secretly OP, I mean they're just really good heroes, but that's not nearly as clickbaity. Don't tell anyone who hasn't seen the video yet. But anyway, there are some heroes that I think are barely ever played by anyone at any rank really, but are very good heroes when used properly. And we're going to go over them today, specifically 3 heroes I think are much better than many people give them credit for. Up first on the list here today, we have a hero that is widely hated by the community, but loved by some. That hero is Mei. Mei is a surprise to some people, but not others, because, well, if you think about it, she has a lot of utility in her kit, arguably more utility than any other hero in the game. Her wall alone is amazing. She can cut people off from the rest of their team, and then kill them, making the rest of the fight a 6v5 when done properly. She can freeze herself and make herself invulnerable to heal herself, and this is all just ignoring the fact that her primary weapon is also utility based because it can slow and freeze people, and then we'll talk about her ultimate in a bit. But the real reason Mei is kind of OP, I guess, in a sense, or just really good, as most of you would prefer, I'd say, is the fact that she can also output a lot of damage. For those of you who don't know, her primary weapon does 75 damage at closest range. That means when you land a headshot, you're dealing 150 damage. That can one-shot a tracer. That's extremely powerful, and if you consider the fact that there is a tank meta right now, lots of people like tanks, Mei is basically an anti-tank machine. Arguably, honestly, better than Reaper. And you want to know why? It's not because of sheer damage, although with 150 damage per headshot on an immobile tank, she can take out tanks very quick with damage. Her utility is amazing against them. Freezing a tank is easy, and once the tank is frozen, everyone can focus them down, leaving a bunch of squishy targets for the rest of your team to kill. And your wall works extremely well against dive compositions. And if you don't know what a dive composition is, it's basically where the enemy team sends a bunch of people to just jump onto your backline and kill them and then focus the rest of you down. If you use a Mei wall when those like Genji and Winston dive your backline and prevent the rest of the enemy team from attacking you, you've basically just turned the fight into a 6v2 against the 2 people diving you, and then you can turn it around into a 6v4 after you've killed them. So Mei just counters all of the good strats right now when used properly. It's actually kind of crazy, and you actually see her in pro play right now too, which I know that doesn't make a difference for most ranks, but it does show that she does counter these strats that are being used at every rank currently. So she is someone to, consider putting in your kit. Now, the real question is with Mei, where do you put her? Some people fill the tank role with Mei, some people fill the DPS role with Mei, because to be honest, it sometimes can be hard to tell what you want to do, because if you fill the DPS role with Mei and your other DPS is like a Genji, you don't have a lot of direct damage, maybe to take out a Reinhardt's shield. And if you fill the tank role with Mei, you have a lot of damage, but you don't have, well, as much tankiness. So it depends on the team composition. You're really going to need to pay attention to that. But if you play as a 6-man, consider adding Mei to one of your team comps, or even if you just play in solo queue, seriously, Mei can be a pretty good hero to learn. I recommend, if you're a DPS player, learning Mei more than tanks, because as I said, this is a tank meta, so I think filling the DPS slot is usually a bit better, although sometimes Mei can fill a tanky position because she is admittedly hard to kill when she puts up walls and makes herself invulnerable. Oh, and really quickly, I almost forgot about her ultimate. It turns the point into Canada, I guess, depending on where she uses it. It's stupid. It's really OP. Never mind. Moving on. Up next, we have a hero that, oh my gosh, so many people think is bad. So many people, almost everyone, honestly, majority of the community probably thinks Winston is not a good hero. I mean, that's what they think, but I can assure you this is not the case. And the reason this actually occurs is because when you're playing Winston, you feel useless. Winston doesn't deal a lot of damage. He soaks up a lot of damage, he disrupts very well, and he makes it so the enemy team can be killed by your team. But he himself doesn't do a lot of damage. And when you're not dealing a lot of damage, you feel useless, honestly. Even as a tank, if you're not dealing a lot of damage or you're not holding up a Reinhardt shield, lots of the time you'll feel like you're doing nothing. But as Winston, you're really not doing nothing. When you jump into the enemy team, they have to focus you down, because an unchecked Winston will end up doing a lot of damage and will end up killing your entire backline. So when they all turn to kill you, the enemy team is not focused on your team, and then your team can push in and hopefully pick up some kills. And a good Winston will go in, take a lot of damage, absorb a lot through the use of, Zarya shields. He'll stay alive. Sometimes Zenyatta orbs if you're running one, or just Ana heals. You'll stay alive for a very long time, and then you can hopefully jump out when you're about to die, meaning all of the damage they just pumped into you was kind of useless because they didn't end up getting the kill, and it's just going to go to charging your support's ultimate. On top of all this, Winston's ultimate is actually far from useless. I used to think myself that it was trash. Part of me still wants to think it's trash. Like, whenever I use it, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever. It's a melee, but I have to hit people farther from me. It makes no sense. It literally is counterintuitive. But even though it may seem like that, his ultimate can be used in a lot of situations very well. Your melee attacks knock people back, and they don't deal a lot of damage. I think they're 40 damage per hit, which is kind of abysmal. So you're really not going for damage with this ultimate. And you gain 500 HP as well. What you're really going for is tankiness and disruption. Sometimes teams will focus on ulting Winston. You don't really want to do that. When Winston ults, you don't want to focus him. He's got 1,000 HP. Some of that is armor, and he's super mobile. He's jumping around everywhere because his cooldown's only 2 seconds in his ultimate, and he's just become a nuisance. But the problem is, you also can't ignore him. So what I'm saying is, nobody knows how to deal with an ulting Winston. I mean, I don't even know how to deal with an ulting Winston other than sleeping him as Ana. You better hope your Ana knows what she's doing so she can put that sucker to sleep right away. Now, if she doesn't, I'll give you the insider scoop as to how to deal with an ulting Winston. You don't ignore him, but you don't focus him either. You deal with the rest of their team while trying to avoid him. It's not going to be easy, but you're not going to be able to kill someone with 1,000 HP efficiently. Yeah, you can kill him, but it's not going to be that good. Hopefully try to take out, if they have a Winston, they're likely to not have a frontline tank. They might have a Reinhardt, but a lot of the times you'll see Winston and Zarya used together. So if they don't have a frontline tank and the Winston ults you, you can focus the rest of their team. That's just like my little insider scoop. But still, nobody knows that. Nobody does that. So as Winston, just try to push people away from the objective with their ultimate, disrupt their team, and you can actually do some serious damage because lots of people do not know what they're doing. And finally, our last hero on the secret OP list is actually one I thought everyone knew was really good. But given that she has the lowest play rate in the game, Ana feels like she's being left out right now. But Ana, in my opinion, is far better than Zenyatta. The meta used to be Zenyatta Lucio, because Zenyatta's Orb of Discord with its 50% extra damage was crazy. It was insane. Now that they've reduced that to 30%, he hasn't been as good. I mean, he's still okay. His Discord is still extremely powerful, but Ana is actually really good right now, despite what anyone tells you. Her single target healing is extremely high. She actually deals a lot of damage. Like, I snipe people as Ana when I'm playing her, as well as heal friendlies, and it works really well. And when no one needs to be healed, she can put some consistent damage onto an enemy Reinhardt shield. Like, it's not too bad. What's great about her, though, the true power Ana has, is in her utility. Like Mei, she has a lot. Her sleep dart can shut down just about everything. Enemy Ana ults, nano boosts, can be completely shut down by your sleep dart if you know when they're coming. Like, try to predict when the enemy's about to nano boost and try to sleep and try to communicate with your team not to shoot the target, because you're just essentially countering an enemy ultimate with your shift, which is amazing. And her grenade is amazing as well. It synergizes so well with Graviton Surge, and Zarya right now is like the best hero in the game, so she's going to be in like every game, so you're going to be seeing a lot of Graviton Surges. When the enemy team is running a Zenyatta, normally it counters your Graviton Surge because he just pops his ultimate and he heals his whole team. However, your grenade counters the entire enemy team's healing, so once again you are countering an enemy ultimate with just one of your abilities. So if you coordinate with your Zarya, hey, tell me before you're gonna Graviton Surge, that way I can make sure to have my grenade ready, you can easily team wipe the enemy team because the grenade also does a lot of damage. Like, it's got a big AoE radius, and you can hit everyone in the Graviton Surge. It makes it easy for your team to get a team wipe even without ultimates. Like, you can Graviton Surge, if you throw your grenade in there, your team can probably get a team wipe without really using any of your own ultimates other than Graviton Surge, because the grenade deals a lot of damage, you counter their healing, and they're all bunched up together. And you deal damage too as Ana, so you can actually shoot into there and get some damage done. Regardless, though, those are my 3 heroes right now. Mei, Winston, and Ana are all better than you guys think, unless you thought they were good before, in which case it's just the same for you. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys all later. Lone Hawk out.